Across thousands of miles of African soil, separated by rainforests, savannas, and the Great Rift Valley, two peoples, the Igbo of southern Nigeria and the Luo of western Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, have never met in ancient history, and yet they speak the same language of love, tradition, and culture. Long before wedding hashtags and venue decor, marriage in both of these cultures was never merely a union of two hearts. It was a covenant between families, between bloodlines, between the living and the ancestors who watch. In Igbo land, they call it Ime Ego or Ikwugwisi in some parts of Igbo dialect, the bride price. In Luo tradition, it is known as Ayie. The names differ, the spirit is identical. In both cultures, a man who desires a woman must first approach her family, not with empty words, but with proof. Proof of his seriousness, proof of his worth, proof that he understands this daughter they are giving away is not for free, because she was never cheap to raise. Cattle and goats make their way across low homesteads. Palm wine, kola nut, and carefully counted naira notes, or back then cowries, cross thresholds in Igbo compounds. And in both traditions, something remarkable happens. The price is not fixed, it is negotiated. Elders sit, sometimes for hours. It is called in Enuane, Ikogele. They talk, they laugh, they push back and forth, they concede, they make compromises, because this is not a transaction. It is a conversation between two families who are about to go into an affinal relationship. There are two types of kinship relationship recognized in Igbo land: the consanguinity kinship relationship and the affinity kinship relationship. The affinity kinship relationship is one taken very seriously as much as the consanguineal relationship. So, this negotiation is about two families learning to trust each other, one offer at a time. Here is where the two traditions reveal something profound, something that quietly dismantles the Western notion that marriage is only about the couple. In Igbo marriage custom, the moment a man marries, he does not simply take a wife. He gains a second family. He is welcomed into the family of his in-laws as his son, given a seat among her kin, called by her family name, expected to show up at funerals and other family events like harvests and celebrations. There are several proverbs enshrined in the Igbo tradition to back this up. They say, Ogobu Juju, Ogobu Chioye. The Luo say the same thing without saying it. They show it. The groom is absorbed. He belongs to them now, just as she will belong to his own people. And so, it flows in both directions, like a river meeting another river. She becomes his family's daughter. He becomes hers. The children born of this union will carry both worlds inside them. Marriage in these traditions do not reduce a family, it multiplies it. Perhaps the most fascinating parallel of all is this one: quiet, ancient, and deeply wise. Before the Luo bride is fully accepted, there is a practice. The mother of the groom comes to live with the prospective daughter-in-law, or the young woman is brought to live under her watchful eyes, not to intimidate, not to dominate, but to see, can she keep a home? Is she kind when no one is watching? Does she rise before the sun, or does she rise after the sun has risen? Does she hold her tongue with grace and speak her mind with courage? Does she love her future husband with patience, not just passion?
But once you marry in a home, the responsibility of a home is now you have to get related to the home. Now you will take the in-laws, all relatives as your own relatives. Your uncles, in-laws, you take them all as now you're very, because it's like you're going to stay with more than, you're going to stay with them more than your own families now.
Yes.
So you have to take very good care of it. Now for us here, we value the mother-in-law. If they're going to marry me off at Okelo's place, if I go to if they want to marry me at Okelo's place, I have to first go to our mother-in-law for a test, for a marriage test. You have to see, can this girl cook actually food? Can she cook the koro, malakwang?
Can she smear the house?
Can she smear the hats with this smearing? Can she smear the hats? Can she to cook the basic foods of actually like pound the can she go to the garden, weed and even farm? They want to know, can she, are we marrying someone who's going to take care of our son very well? Is our son going to go hungry? We value so much, not African, we value so much
food. Oh my God.
Food, so much. So food comes first. The first thing they will test is, will he be able to take care of my of our son well, like in terms of the stomach and everything.
Yes.
But the first priority is the stomach. Can she go to the garden and can she cook nice food for our son?
Yeah.
So they value that.
The Igbo mother-in-law does the same. She studies, she observes, she asks questions through silence. She tests character, not with words, but with time.
Mama, this is Dora, the girl I've been telling you about.
Dear woman, did you hear the way she said Dewo? Is she not an Igbo girl?
I'm not Igbo, ma. I'm from Benin.
Benin?
In both cultures, this woman, the mother, is the final gatekeeper because she knows what the lovesick son cannot yet see. She has lived long enough to know that beauty fades, but character endures. And when she finally nods, when she finally gives her blessings, it carries the weight of everything. The Igbo and the Luo never needed to compare notes. They never needed to, because some truths about love, about family, about what it means to build something that outlasts you, those truths do not belong to one tribe or one continent or one era. They are stitched into the very fabric of what it means to be human. Two cultures, one heartbeat. This is how Africa marries. This is how the Luo and the Igbo people get married. Thank you for watching this beautiful documentary. This is our second episode comparing the culture and traditions of the Luo and the Igbo people. Look out for the continuation, which will be our concluding episode. Watch out for the final episode. I will see you in my subsequent videos. Thank you for watching. If this is your first time of coming across any of our videos, kindly hit the subscribe button. I will look forward to seeing your contribution in the comment section. My name remains Prince Onwode Ngozi Chukwuka Fortune. I will see you in my subsequent videos. Bye-bye.